Hello everyone in YouTube land, welcome to Dad's Club Podcast Scotland episode 2. We're joined by our good friend Iain Grant.
Hi Iain. Yay.
Hi. We need a sound. That was very good. Did you just make that up on the spot there? Let's hear that applause sound.
Terrifying.
Is it?
Absolutely.
I've fogged up my glasses by doing that. Now I can't actually see anything.
ADF, if you were one of the 63 viewers from last week, first of all, thank you for tuning in.
Thank
Scotland's,
Gary's got 62 of his mates to come and
Scotland's
listen.
only.
Thanks Gary for getting your mates and.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was excellent last week, I have to say.
Oh, cheers, Iain. That's really you have to say that because you're a pal.
No, not at all. No.
And anyone who's watching, if you followed us from the Avondale Community Radio, then Iain was a guest on the show on one occasion, but one of the files became encrypted. So we had some good banter about rugby. Huge. I'm saying you're a huge rugby man.
Certainly, I'm huge, right?
You look about half the size of me because I'm having to sit so close to the camera.
I know, but then you look at the size of my head with these headphones on and you get a true reflection of how big I am and how big my head is.
But it's great to have Iain. We'll do the introduction and then we're going to chat through rugby. The theme of this one predominantly is rugby because there must be rugby dads out there who'd enjoy having a blather, and hopefully further down the line we can get some rugby superstars from Scotland coming on and basically promoting Scotland's latest podcast. Which if you're out there and you think it's terrible, please let us know, because I think we're going to be brave this time. Leave the comments on.
Look, actually, don't tell us. Actually, don't listen to him. Don't tell us that we're terrible. Just don't bother. If you've got nothing nice to say, then don't say anything.
Fair enough. Right, that's a couple of minutes introduction. Let's get the intro music on while we gather our thoughts for what the first segment will be. Getting Iain to chat about rugby, his love of the game.
Dad's Club, you're listening to Dad's Club,
With Black Panther.
Dad's Club, welcome to Dad's Club, you're listening to Dad's Club on
YouTube. Well, Iain, great to have you. How
Thank you
are
very
you?
much.
Happy New Year. You
Happy
keep all
New Year
right?
to you. I'm keeping brilliant, thank you.
Are you back in at rugby? Are you still managing to play? What's happening?
I'm a little bit older these days, as you know, 37 years old, so it's definitely getting a bit more difficult, I have to say. My knee is very sore, my toe is very sore, believe it or not.
Are any of these, is this trade secrets? Does your wife know?
Kinda.
Because she'll
probably
probably
down a little
watch it. And the bubble will be burst.
No, sure.
And is the season started?
The season is well underway. We've only got about 6 games left, I think.
Right,
now.
sorry, so you had, it was a winter break.
Well, sort of, I think the last game was the 16th of December, something like that, and then yesterday we played again for the first time.
And did my dad get in touch with you? Is he text?
No.
He was keen to text you because, just to paint a picture here, Iain is still is it club president or club captain?
Neither. No, I'm
there
not.
you go.
Right, so that's changed since last year.
Aye, well, at the start of this season, a new fine young man, Sam Connery, has taken over the captaincy.
Right.
So lets me focus on my own game a wee bit more.
Absolutely.
Aye. So,
but is you still enjoying it?
I really love it. I genuinely do, and I wish I could play. Not that I was a great player, but better than I'm playing.
No,
now,
I mean, anything I've seen, some of the footage and some, to me, you're a great player because I'm terrible at every kind of sport.
I absolutely wasn't, but I'm definitely much worse now.
Now
that's a shame.
What
I know,
position?
that is what it is.
What position do you play, Iain?
I play front row, I play prop.
Right, now you're going to have to explain to me because, as you can tell by my accent, that rugby is a
You're from Wakanda.
Yes, Wakanda. Rugby is a big sport, but where I'm from in Wakanda, it's not. The dominant code of football. The dominant code of football was AFL. So I've grown up with knowing next to nothing about rugby whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the position I play is at the front of the scrum.
Right.
So when there's something happens, it's an accident. So they don't deliberately do it, then they restart the game at a scrum.
Right.
And when we do that, I'm at the front of that scrum.
Okay.
Usually.
Okay.
And is that why? Is it years and years? Do you think your knee, it's through rugby? This might be a really stupid question. Is it the sport that's caused the pain?
I think probably.
Because
Again, I wouldn't probably tell Helen
you're a
about that,
regular runner, and do you know what I mean? You're an active guy. You do a fair wee bit of DIY because this is the thing. It's a complete juxtaposition with rugby against it. I'm sure. And it might be quite controversial. There's a lot of folk would say it's a dangerous sport. Is that fair?
It probably is. Obviously, the sort of stereotype is if you're playing rugby, then your mammy's a wee bit worried.
Aye.
Probably should be, because at times it can be a wee bit.
Because I remember
dangerous.
there was a famous interview with John Beattie, because he's now since retired for the radio. Did you hear that?
No.
Has he?
Aye, big GB, John Beattie. And then if you're listening, John, you're always welcome on in your retirement. Now he's playing with a group called the John Beattie Band. But when he was in Radio Scotland, he said the bit that he always found was a difficult topic of conversation was the benefits as opposed to the cons, and he said the benefits totally outweigh the cons of playing the game.
Well, the big thing now, obviously, like medicine and all that sort of stuff is much. The research going into it's a lot sort of more advanced now. So when they're talking about these head injuries and all that sort of stuff, I think it's a dangerous game. And if you're playing at a high level, particularly at a high level, over the course of a number of years, the head injury thing is definitely needs managed.
But now, as a fully grown man, as a dad,
very fully grown.
But knowing what you know now, you still would have played.
Absolutely. The benefits
that,
so far outweighs.
And you hear that all the time with sportsmen. It's like you meet football players in their 60s or 70s. They can hardly walk, and later in life, but the life they've had, man, what a life!
That's it. I played my first senior game in 2003, so that's 21 years later, and all of those years have been absolutely brilliant.
Still loving it.
I love
That's
it.
amazing.
Absolutely love it.
Any kind of major things have happened to you? I think you told us before, and I don't know whether this getting encrypted in the radio. You can take. Has it been fingers? Has it been toes? Has it been what's happened that ended up making
Obviously, like soft tissue things is common, like bruises and bumps and things like that, and wee tears and things. But I had my ear ripped off a little bit. I don't know if you remember me telling you about that. Had to get that glued back on. But I just stay away from all the carry on. I don't get involved in all the nonsense.
And it does the prop thing. If anyone watches this, if you see the link from Iain's Facebook, right, which if he fancies sharing it, the amount of times you share props have got the lot.
Props I've got.
And there's a running joke with the boys in our kind of social circle, right, in Avondale, that it's no longer props have got the lot. It's just PH. You use the. PHGTL. Everybody knows what you're talking about. I love that. 100%. It's like a kind of running theme because you're a good social media man.
Well, the thing is, props get a bad rap. Props tend to be the big boys that have got no skill and not the best looking. So I've lived up to that expectation, but see in terms of some of the stuff the props can do, they've got a lot, I'm telling you. Absolutely got
There you go, props. If you're watching this, please write in.
They can pass, they can do it all.
Here's Iain Grant, the biggest advocate of being a prop. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's great to get a chat. In relation to dad jokes and the usual segments, we'll go through anything rugby themed. If you've got any ideas or you want to talk more about rugby, because we are going to call this rugby, because we'll always keep referring back to what Iain's been doing, what he's going to be up to in the world of rugby. And this, initially we started getting Iain on last year talking about Straven Rugby Club. If this is your first time listening to any of our patter, what I was going to talk about actually, but I lost my train of thought. My dad was going to get in touch with you about the fixture against Straven against DL.
Oh, aye.
Because he's looking to come and see you play.
Right,
Is that Saturday coming?
Saturday coming, it is.
So that's definitely on. Here you go. My father, the other bald man from Lanarkshire who looks like me, just 40 years older. You can go and see him play DL. Is that a wee bit of a grudge match?
Well, particularly this year, because over the last few years we've kind of been competing against each other to get promoted, and then we both did, and now we're both competing against each other at the other end of the table. At the other end of the table, unfortunately. So,
kind of unrelated to sport, the reason he wanted to get in touch is he's never been up in the new clubhouse yet. So he's asking if he can get a couple of pints after the game.
It's a wee excuse to get a couple of pints.
It's
always a good excuse.
So here you go. Saturday coming, Saturday the 20th.
Something like that.
Saturday 20th, Straven DL. Right, well, Iain, using your expertise from rugby and the banter that you've garnered together over the years from taking part in such an active sport, we're about to lower the tone considerably.
No, I'm pleased to hear it.
With a section called
Brace yourself, folks, it's time for the dad jokes.
Black Panthers on today.
They're gonna be bad jokes. Brace yourself, folks, it's time for the dad jokes. The dad jokes.
Right, boys, in preparation for Iain coming today, I looked out some absolute crackers, right? About a rugby player, an ageing rugby player.
Oh,
right.
The rugby player, even though he's ageing, he's an incredibly fit guy, right? With big muscles and everything bursting out his chest. Obviously a prop, if he looks like that. He walks in, he's young and he's got the chiseled jaw and everything, and he walks into Asda, and you know this Challenge 25 thing? About making sure if you look under 25 you still get ID. That hasn't happened to me in 15 years. But the guy walks up to the counter in Asda, and he's initially you can see the kind of cashier's unsure about whether or not he ID him, and the boy looks absolutely delighted, and as he goes to open up his wallet, a Blockbuster video card works out, and the lassie says, "Doesn't matter, you're ancient." Because Blockbuster, I know, they get worse. They're getting worse, but I thought that could be a rugby player walking into a shop.
That's definitely champagne comedy right there.
Oh man, I know. Hear that? That's why we need to get into editing software with some background noise here. Right, noise. Last week we were talking about pantomimes. Have you been to a pantomime?
Not this year. I used to work at the Motherwell Civic Centre, and I don't want to ever go to a pantomime ever again. So every December and January I was in that Motherwell Civic Centre.
Really?
Like,
Well, this one relates to the
It seems awful to
Pantomime.
working behind the scenes.
We premiered this joke once in a radio show, and I don't know if you boys will have heard this, but you have permission to steal this one. Jimmy Cranky many years ago was in the pantomime in Glasgow. Are you familiar with the character Jimmy Cranky?
I am, yes.
The show finishes and
Crankies.
Jimmy Cranky gets really hungry for an Asda meal deal, a packet of crisps, a sandwich and a juice. Goes into Asda, but upon the way disaster strikes, Jimmy Cranky get lifted so she could see over the counter.
As soon as he said that, I knew terrible.
It's crickets, mate.
I think that one's really good. Right, January, whether it be rugby, whether it be sports, whether it be tennis or anything, right? A boy gets his, could be a football strip, could be a rugby strip on for the first time in January, right? Says to his wife, "There's definitely something up with that tumble dryer. The tumble dryer's shrinking my clothes." And the wife, quick as a flash, says, "No, it's the contents of the fridge." I like that January joke. Right, and you'll enjoy this one, boys. This is a good one, right? The janitor who's getting ready for the rugby game to start, the janitorial services in the clubhouse, he decides to play a trick on the kids one day when they're coming up for training. He hides in the cupboard and he jumps out of this cupboard and goes, "Supplies!"
There's another 20 minutes of this, Ian.
No. This segment will be short today.
Right.
But I try any other ones yourselves.
Yeah, look,
picked
just
up any dad
keeping
jokes?
it in the theme of rugby. How many dementia sufferers does it take to change a light bulb to get to the other side?
That's actually very good.
It's terrible. That is terrible.
There you go. We're going to get cancelled, I think.
So we had a conversation last week about how risky the jokes can get, and the answer is not very risky.
Is that right? Aye.
Well, the YouTube code of conduct and other code of conducts dictate. It's funny now that we want to become regular YouTubers. The video posts in a matter of seconds, especially if you do standard definition. But it's amazing. You need to click whether or not it's for kids. The copywriting thing, that's why we have to use original music for the wee segments, because the copywriting thing buffers and buffers and buffers, so YouTube can shut you down very, very quickly.
Right.
But the fascinating thing is when you look into the amount of videos that sample things like well-known comedians, I don't want to say their names in case they sue us, but really controversial comedians, those videos get the most views.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's strange. Anyway, please spread the word about Dad's Club here. I put an advert out in the local. Did you see that in the local Facebook page asking for any comedians? I get 0 responses. I can't find any budding comedians in the Avondale area. If you're watching this and you stumble across this,
There's got to be some.
I know.
Surely.
There must be someone who come on with us and tell us jokes and bounce jokes back and forward with us that would be better than
I
ours.
think I'd just like to see an old guy on just ranting about the potholes or something like that. I think that would be
good view in that. Yeah.
But you raise an interesting point. Nowadays, when that happens online, it says anonymous participant.
I've seen that.
Have you noticed
Yeah,
that?
I've seen that.
You don't know who the moaning person is.
Yeah.
How does that? Did they decide that they don't want to be identified, or does
I don't know, because I've never done it. See, I'm a social media man like this. I would like to think that you're spreading a wee bit of light entertainment, and you're really good with that. Your posts, see whether it be like rugby videos. You're not going to share a boring rugby video.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
You know, and it's I got one from a actual mutual friend of ours last night. It was a Ronaldinho crossbar challenge, and you sit and you're transfixed with these things. But the anonymous participant seems to be. I was very upset. There was a van parked over my drive last night. But if it's anonymous, how are you going to know what van it is and how are you going to know where it is? Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, I love them. I really
because
do.
it doesn't. That really is just a moan. It doesn't serve a purpose. It's just anyway. I suppose it's a joke. That's what we could do. Look through anonymous participant posts from like community pages for Stornoway or something like that.
That's a great idea.
That would be hilarious, and they're anonymous, so we're not talking about anyone.
I like it when it says just to let you know. So you don't need any information. You're just letting him do it.
It doesn't serve a purpose, it's just so you know.
Aye.
That section was... Oh no, where's my sound section? Oh no, that wasn't that section. This is why we need editing software. That section was...
Brace yourself, folks,
We
it's
could have
time
done
for
for
the dad
copyright for
jokes.
that.
We all know that they're gonna be bad jokes. Brace yourself, folks, it's time for the dad jokes. Dad jokes.
That's a great jingle, isn't it?
What about surely the biggest thing about sport that you must... Now I know you won't be able to get your head around this, but rewind 20 years, if you hadn't taken part in rugby, you'd have missed out on some laugh.
I know, and given that I'm already massively overweight, imagine the size I'd be. Think about
You're
that.
not massively overweight at all.
Well, okay, let's agree to disagree on that one. But I always think about that. Like, this is the size I got to when I was training twice a week minimum and playing on rugby on a Saturday. Imagine I wasn't doing that.
It's
Unbelievable.
the same with everything, though. I mean, that's why this is an open forum for anyone who wants to talk about anything like that. #DadLife. It's a bit like the warnings about coffee staining your teeth yellow. I'll just need to have yellow teeth.
Too late.
I know.
Too
Do you know
late.
what I
Bit down the
mean?
line
So
there,
you've got both of you got some pretty decent chompers on you, I think.
Thanks very much.
But they're yellowing.
Not as much
thing
as
is,
mine.
I don't know, but see, you're all right. In fact, you two are all right. My trouble is I need to fight, and I feel as if I need some hair in my face to compensate for no hair in my head.
Well, that's definitely an issue I'm going through here.
Frustrating that. I'm just taking this off so I can get a wee drink.
I usually go. I'll be allowed to publicise some of the businesses.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I used to go. Well, I always go to the barber shop in Straven, but during Christmas New Year they were closed on the particular day I went down. So I made the decision to go round to the other barbers, which was a very nice experience as well. But when I was there, the Turkish man that was cutting my hair tried to sell me a package to go to Turkey to get this fixed.
You're joking, is that what he said?
He didn't not out and out sold me it, but he more or less said, I know a guy who knows a guy if you're interested, because you're a bit thin up here.
It's so funny.
So
I won't
tough to take.
name him, but the last time I was talking, do you know wee Jamie Finn? I'm looking at Jamie's another dad, a Straven dad, who originally East Kilbride, who runs Village Music in East Kilbride, and it was hilarious. Because it's one of those things where everyone's been thinking it for years and no one said it. And Jamie mentioned the name of this boy who may have been to Turkey to get the hair done.
Right, okay.
And I knew exactly who he was talking about. And it was, you know, that way it's completely non-verbal communication.
Yeah.
It's just like, aye.
He's been.
That's a joke about that. See, I haven't been to Turkey on holiday, but allegedly when you come back in the flight, a lot of folk have got bandaged heads.
Is that right?
Aye,
Would you go to that extreme? Like, I mean, I'm like, obviously
you've got a full
you're
head of hair.
follically challenged, but would you if I was in a similar sort of situation, I don't think I'd go to those lengths.
I don't know.
I think I'd just accept
it's low maintenance. I'm now at the stage I like a bald head.
I'm right in the position right now, because obviously here and the penalty spot at the back is getting out of control. So if I'm going, it's got to be soon, and I'm made the decision.
Should try that. A pal of mine years ago used that as a keratin shampoo or something.
I've heard
You do get natural remedies.
Helen actually came home at one time. Aye. It's quite subtle, so she is.
She's subtle as a flying mallet.
I was always of the sort of I was going to make the decision to do like the Frasier, back in the early days of Frasier when he had like the mop of hair at the back, that's what I would do. Just grow out the bits that I did have, make it wild.
Well, I think some people in the media, it's like Bill Bailey. Bill Bailey now knows that's his thing.
Yeah,
You just hear it aside and
Aye.
So I suppose it's a bit like UADF with the masks.
That's it. It's just my thing. I just like to wear them.
ADF was telling us that he, obviously I'm a candidate, he didn't follow rugby. Have you ever been involved in rugby?
Never.
No?
No, I was... See, unless it was long distance running or swimming or something non-competitive, I was terrible.
No team sports at all?
But I didn't have that killer edge. Do you know what I mean? I think I've always just been one of these guys who would rather sit in the corner playing guitar, definitely go a jogger, like hill walk and things like that and climbing. Whereas it's funny, both of my kids, so it must come from the mother's genes, sorry Ruth if you're listening, but the wee man's very, very competitive. When he plays a 7-a-side game of football, he runs that hard, he's sweating after 30 seconds.
I seen him after his basketball the other night, he had a red face and all that.
That's what I mean.
Put a bit of effort
See,
in
he's got that kind of killer spirit. There was one occasion where I had lost a wee bit of weight, must have been about 16 or 17, and I scored 2 or 3 goals. We were just playing for fun. It must have been like 7-a-side in Blackwood. I went to Les Mehigo High. If there's any Les Mehigo High former pupils who want to come on and chew the fat about the old days, please go for it. But do you know what was a huge buzz? Winning.
Oh, it's a nice feeling.
Aye.
It's a very nice feeling.
That then made me want to go back the next day and play again.
It's never losing, is it?
No, well, and I suppose though the difference between the winning and the losing thing, losing can be a positive thing if the coaches then flip that round.
So they say, blah blah blah, and all that, but you're really just there to win. Come on, let's be honest.
I mean, I did.
It's a nice side. Do
you know what I really enjoyed? I trained with a local boxing club in Les Mehigo, and I loved the notion of one man overpowering another man. Obviously, women can box. Sorry, before we get cancelled for that. But boxing always fascinated me because it's just you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's an art form.
My dad was a boxer, actually. Yeah.
And I bet your dad was a fit man then. See, that's a great way.
Much
Similarly
fitter than
with rugby, though, that's...
So is it the sense that you're not letting anybody else down, or is it they just...
And I think that's the thing. Then, if you make a mistake, you don't have a team of other boys knowing that it's very clearly your mistake.
I know, but that's part of rugby as well. It's the team sort of approached it, and
I bet you
when mistakes happen.
I'm a huge advocate for this. I have never once met anyone who was actively involved in team sports was an unhappy guy.
Aye, no, it's
you know
it's
all
all about the camaraderie and
then that thing about, because we even see it with the boys. Those who play football and those who enjoy it, by the end of the night they're going to their bed, they're sleeping better, they feel as if they've kind of strengthened friendships. I do feel sorry for folk who've never tried a team sport. I just tried it and it was murder.
Well, here's the thing, when I stopped playing rugby, which is unfortunately going to be soon, what am I going to do? What did I do on a Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday?
Come on.
That's it. Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday.
You could also edit this.
But a friend of my dad's, even in his, I don't think he's in his 60s now, he probably will be in his 60s now, he played, I don't know whether he played pro, but football was his lifeblood for years and years and years. And the last I saw him for a game of golf, he said every Saturday he drives by a football pitch, he still wants to do it, even though his legs couldn't. So it's a love, innit?
I know, absolutely.
Absolutely brilliant.
There's the other side that you go coaching, or you go and stand and watch, and I just don't know if I could. I just don't know if you could stand there and not want to get involved in it.
Would you go into coaching, do you think?
I just don't think it's for me. No,
right.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Have you tried it though? Did you?
I've done lots of coaching. One of my first jobs was a rugby development officer, so I was coaching sort of primary school, secondary school kids. I love all that side of it, but like senior times, I don't think so. Nah, I think just standing aside, knowing that you want to be on there, but your body won't let you. I just think it'd be too much.
Is that the only thing that would stop you, or is there other things about coaching that you think, I don't fancy doing that?
No, but I think probably would quite like to do the coaching side of it.
Yeah.
But on a Saturday when the game's happening, and you can't do anything about it,
I mean, I would go so far as to say, do you know what I love about it with sports, right? There's only so much they can do to change it. Do you know what I mean? The very, because my kids were talking about it even, I know it's snooker, right, and it's no exactly the healthiest sport, but you had Ronnie O'Sullivan yesterday coming out, I don't know if you heard that quote, he said, the young team need to sort themselves out, I can hardly see, I've got a sore back, I've got sore knees, and I'm still beating these young boys. And the thing is, nothing has changed since he was 18, so the rules of the game, if you're an expert at something like that, you can keep going, and that's why I stuck with the guitar playing, because guitar playing, I mean, Chuck Berry was playing to the age of 92, and I think that's the best thing. There's a dead famous phrase about it, see whether it be sport or anything where you don't need to pick up your pencil and it's no laborious in terms of academia, but it basically kind of like, it gives you that wee thirst for wanting to improve yourself.
Well, that's the thing, like snooker. In fact, he's probably getting, well, maybe no better, but he's learning about all the wee nuances of all the game and
the psychology
all those
of
wee
sport,
tiny bits that are making a difference, in particular something like the guitar. You're getting better and better and better. That's part of it.
You can never actually master it, because even the best players, when you watch them, a lot of really famous YouTubers these days are playing the guitar, and the likes of sport, every now and again, I mean, the rugby world must have been full of characters. You get someone who thinks, right, back to the drawing board, I want to do that, and that's the best thing about sport, music, anything artistic. But now obviously you get it, but I don't. If one of you boys, it's just the way I'm wired, if one of you boys wrote a terrific poem, it's not enough for me to say, I want to write a poem. No, you've got to have an interest, don't you? It's just a bit of razzmatazz. And maybe it would. But right, Adamo, I'm going to let you take the lead here, because last week's, well, it would have been last month, but we just were keen to get Iain on for a chat, and I hope you're enjoying it in YouTube land. Please, what is it the young team say? Like and subscribe for any other themes. We're going to get Kevin Noon on from Hangerfest. And Iain, by the way, you're welcome any time. The camera angle, we can easily get 3 or 4 boys here in Dad's Club, and you'll need to come back and see what ADF is wearing in his face next time.
I'm excited to see.
And then round about the time of Hangerfest, we can all chat.
What do you think the temperature behind that mask is?
Oh,
very, very hot.
Sweaty.
Very hot.
I know. It's like...
You were adding fuel to the fire with a dad dilemma. Last week I was talking about my car's a banger.
I heard it.
Did you get a wee listen? I can't go into Glasgow this summer. I can't go into Edinburgh. Now I did get it. Thank you so much, by the way. Unashamed plug here. Stonehouse Tyre and Exhaust Centre. First class customer service. Very, very affordable prices. And they do, I know this sounds, I'm oversimplifying this, they do exactly what they're going to say they do. Do you know what I mean? If the boys are saying, I'll have it done by 12:30, it's done by 12:30. I cannot recommend them highly enough. I thought my car was past the sell-by date, 125,000 miles. The boys fixed the steering, got it through its MOT, fully serviced it. I swear it's driving as good as new.
Right.
I remember a time you came to pick me up to go somewhere and you'd been taking trees to the dump the day before.
Aye,
and
so
there was
scarred.
literally trees in your car. It was
That's lovely
unbelievable.
landy.
Aye.
Oh, it's like a works van. So I'm going to let ADF, right? Process your thoughts here for the dad's dilemma, because wait till you hear what he found. Are you all right talking about this? Running through. Remember the power thing.
Right, yeah, go for it.
Right, wait, and we'll play this and let you process his thoughts.
Please send us your dad's dilemmas. Please share them with us.
About old cars.
We may not be able to solve them, but surely we can have some fun.
Right, we were talking about in Aberdeen buses are running off of hydrogen, but get this, Iain's worldly wise and he may have heard about this, but tell them about the fuel for the jet plane.
Oh, that's right. It's all about poo. They've managed to find a fuel that is entirely made out of human excrement.
There was me thinking, because he did send me a message. ADF saying we need to refer to this in Dad's Club. So is that all you know? It's a plane that runs on poo.
We can.
I
think it's at the early stages of development. I think so. I'm not sure that any commercial.
Are you involved in the development
no,
of this? No.
Just stumbled across it on the news feed. And
I'm assuming
what?
then, this is an interesting thing. Every dad who drives a car must have experienced this going into Glasgow. When you go by, what's the bit where there used to be Glasgow Zoo, and you smell the burning of methane? Where it's not a dump, it's
like Shettleston,
landfill.
Yeah.
Campus line Shettleston
And
area.
by the way, it stinks.
It does.
But they used to, if you know more about this, come on the show and tell us about this if you work with environmental health or something. To eradicate some of the smell, they were burning the fuel that came out of the ground.
Yeah.
So every now and again it looked like a wee geyser, so there must be energy in there.
Yeah. So basically, it's like some researchers, scientists have devised a way. Don't ask me how. You can Google that one.
Did they? So
Did
you read the article? Did the plane get off the ground and flew?
No, we're in the age of social media, Big Stu. I don't read anything. That takes too long. I'm going to have to invest too much, and But
that might be the answer.
It's not at that. They're not at that point, but at least I don't think so. But they're, it's still in development stages, but potentially it could run off. Not just human poo, but all
what about
sorts of
yourself?
things.
Your vehicle, is your vehicle hybrid, or is it electric, or is it petrol?
No, it's a diesel.
Diesel, and how are you finding it? Is it still
It's a
running?
2019, so it's alright. It's not too
so
bad.
you're laughing, you can still
well,
win
a wee
it.
bit of time there. But I'll be honest, I'm desperate for a pickup. That's my next thing.
Aye.
Oh, I'm desperate. Because I'm farmer these days,
Right.
Farmer
desperate for a pickup. But I mean, I know how stupid an idea that is. I know that I don't need a pickup, but still, I'm just desperate for a pickup.
However, though, you say that, but it means that when the snow comes down heavily and straight, you can get in and out and still get your
One
milk.
of the things I keep saying to Helen.
Aye.
That
makes sense to me.
That's not going to happen.
I'll get your milk for you if you need milk. Do you need milk?
See?
Bread, that kind of
Milk.
CADF,
Pick
you
them all
could
up.
get your
Milk.
deliveries.
I can get milk.
You could get picked up when you're stranded in the workplace and can't get home.
That's it.
Exactly, aye.
I don't think that's really going to happen, to be honest. I went back to Wakanda in July, and I was really surprised. I mean, fuel there is a lot cheaper than it is here.
Aye.
But I always just assumed diesel was always more expensive, but it's cheaper.
Is
It's
it?
cheaper in Wakanda.
We forgot to cover that last week.
Believe
So
it.
where else? I know down south. Is it just the UK that has the low emission zones? Here's a good question.
I
Yeah,
bet it is, aye.
Good.
I think
Well,
it is.
I think Wakanda's still using coal, so
Right.
they-
See, that in itself was interesting. I read, there was a very quick article I read in it was Glasgow Live, and there was a person who's not a politician, but they were talking about the ULEZ, and now in Sauchiehall Street, seemingly the place, I mean, I haven't been there in years, but the place is desolate. You've got empty shops, there's no longer HMV, there's no longer, do you remember Watt Brothers was kind of down the street? Something else is shut down, and every single comment was saying, Glasgow City Council, please reverse the Les. So that I don't think they're listening to people.
Nah, of course not.
But do you think it's just based on that these shops
No,
are closing?
I suppose it would be the fact that I don't know, round about Sauchiehall Street, to my recollection, I don't think there's any huge big car park. It's just Buchanan Galleries. So if you want to be at the Charing Cross end, you potentially you're parking your car quite far away.
Yeah.
Or you're getting public transport. That's what they're pushing, isn't it?
But that's what they were saying, the public transport in itself. I don't think there's a night bus anymore. You know, it just seems to be there's been a cacophony
Aye, everything's...
of working against people who want to get in and out of Glasgow.
That's fine that they're doing. They're making these initiatives as long as they actually provide. You know, like reliable.
Like Barcelona. Have you been to Barcelona recently? Their public transport's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You get there's a red inner circle, there's a yellow inner circle and blue, and every single thing links the open top bus to the other buses.
Yeah.
Then once you buy like a day pass, I think this is right. No matter what method of transport you want to use, just walk on and off.
Yeah.
Without even thinking about it.
I think it's just any English speaking country. It just has woeful public transport, you know.
Seems to be the way of it.
You think even Wakanda's public transport's rubbish.
Because we've got our first guest, if there are any listeners who've stuck with us for the 30 minutes of the podcast, right, we're going to skip word of the week because I've got a game to finish with, a game called Who's the Daddy?
I know, good thing because I don't have a word of the week. Well, I do.
But that's all right because this will be better. You can interact with this long term. In the comment section, please put who you think the dad is if you beat the guest we have on screen, because you're going to hear a succession of fathers from show business. I'll complete them as many times as you like. We don't need to make it competitive, but you can keep a tally, see who gets it first, right? A dad's club, famous dads from show business. This is person one.
Talk about the horse, please. It's gone.
Oh,
It suffered a fatal heart attack from the excitement, and I disposed of it properly.
An alien spaceship.
Peter Griffin.
Oh, wait, sorry. I'll do it.
I talk about the horse, please. It's gone. It suffered a fatal heart attack from the excitement, and I disposed of it properly.
That is, of course.
Peter Griffin.
Are you a fan?
That's it.
Oh, I'm a fan.
Very funny.
Brilliant.
Very, very funny.
It's no King of the Hill.
Oh,
I've never seen
that's
King of the
controversial,
Hill.
that.
What?
I have never watched King of the Hill.
I think it was probably, didn't reach the heady heights of the likes of Family Guy, etc. But there were some great episodes. I thought it was a very
Channel
clever
4
show.
special. Well, it was on Channel 4, I think, for a while. That one, I remember.
I haven't seen much of Family Guy, but I'm assured by everyone I know that it's certainly not for kids.
It's
It's
definitely
definitely
not for kids.
not.
No.
Is that right?
It doesn't. It's really sort of doesn't operate the same way as The Simpsons, does it? Where you've got a couple of different levels.
No.
It's just definitely adults. Right, this one, I can't even remember them, so I just need to refresh my memory from the
An
samples.
alien spaceship. I think it looks like a big Jiffy Pop container.
You know, I tend to agree with you. A real spaceship would have some form of internal propulsion.
Right. It should look more like a saucer.
Yeah, kind of an iridescent glow.
Have a low hum.
Yeah, and 26 little diamond-shaped windows all in a row.
There are two voices. I'll play that again
An
because this is
alien
a hard
spaceship.
one.
I think it looks like a big Jiffy Pop container.
You know, I tend to agree with you. A real spaceship would have some form of internal propulsion.
Right. It should look more like a saucer.
Yeah, kind of an iridescent glow.
Have a low hum.
Yeah, and 26 little diamond-shaped windows all in a row.
That's a hard one because
Give us
it's
the
two
clue.
voices.
Give us the clue.
The clue is the dad is talking to his neighbour over a fence.
Ah, right.
I can give you a second clue.
I know exactly what it is, but I just can't think of the.
It was a great show. It was very funny. It was well scripted. This was one that was for kids, and they were. It's funny they talk about cancel culture nowadays.
he
If
would
you
have been
watched
cancelled.
back with some of the interactions and some of the kind of subtext, someone I think would be offended.
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
Improvement.
What's his name? Is it Tim Allen?
Tim
Allen's
Allen.
in it, aye.
Is it Tim Allen? See the sort
An alien spaceship.
It's hard
I think it
because
looks like a big
it's two
Jiffy
voices.
Pop container.
the neighbour.
You know, I tend to agree with you. A real spaceship would have some form of internal propulsion.
Right. It should look more like a saucer.
Yeah, kind of an iridescent glow.
Have a low hum.
Yeah, and 26 little diamond-shaped windows all.
That was
The funny thing was about that, you've stolen his idea, ADF, because the neighbour never ever revealed his full
know.
face.
Oh, that's right. I had the hat on as well, didn't you?
I think there's a classic device used in a lot of popular TV shows.
I never understood it with that one though. I'm assuming that he just had a level of fame that he thought it was funny for people guessing who he was. I don't know.
The only
But
time I ever saw, I mean, they did that in Cheers with like Norm's wife. You never saw Norm's wife, and then they sort of replicated that with Frasier, with Niles' wife, and
So
it must be some sort of theatrical device that's been around.
by episode 10, you and I will be walking down the street and Stephen and I will be saying, "Who's ADF? Who's that?" From hopefully
I'd like to-
over 60 viewers.
I'd like to think so, but come on.
If anyone watched this last week and you know who ADF is, please, I take it you don't want them to reveal it.
No.
You did right. ADF. This is
Stig,
ADF.
a bit like the Stig as well, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, there you go. That's it. You know, that's what
And
people
helmet,
immediately. That's what they're going to be
The
thinking
first
of.
thing my dad texted me last week when he watched the podcast saying it was, "Have you get Banksy? You've managed to get Banksy on the show."
That's good.
I
Because you had
wish.
the face mask and
I
that.
wish.
Right, father number 3.
Christopher was clinically dead for about a minute.
Too easy.
Tony, is it?
Tony
Big
Soprano.
T. Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
One of, for my money, now very controversial, please disagree in the comments if you like, best show ever.
Oh, I mean,
One
it's a
of-
bold statement.
Definitely one of the best.
One
I'd
of the
have
best.
to say.
No, you
I
can't.
think the way, so much of it I think was just him.
Have you rewatched it at all?
Yeah, all in all, I've probably, when did it first come out? The early noughties or something like that?
I couldn't tell you.
Late 90s, early 90s.
When DVDs were a thing, see, this is the thing, any of the young team tuning in, Netflix is a fairly recent development. Streaming for us, for our age group, is a fairly recent development. You had the TV channels. I mean, we all had, especially you, because Black Panther's a wee bit older than us.
Aye.
But we had back to the time where you used to have to record things in VHS.
Yeah.
Then
Remember that.
DVDs come in. So when DVDs come in, yes, I would rewatch The Sopranos a lot.
I was talking to somebody yesterday and I used the phrase taping it. Which
Taping it,
obviously
right,
you can't.
Yeah.
You're not taping it anymore, are you?
It's taken. I think it's taken away some of the magic, because I don't know if you saw at Christmas time there was an interview with David Jason from Only Fools and Horses,
Right.
and he said in 1995 when that aired on Christmas Day, 25 million people
That's
must
crazy.
have actually been, because the BBC could tell they were watching it in real time. 25 million. That's more, I'm pretty sure, than have recently been watching real time some of the big football games, the finals and everything. That's incredible.
That's mad numbers.
That was
It's
when
just
you.
fascinating.
I mean, that was back in the day when you invested in a TV show.
And
where
it was a great show.
Yeah, you'd have to.
You were waiting weekly for it to
Yeah.
come out.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Friends. I don't know if you were in the
waiting for that to
aye,
come on.
Thursdays in
Aye.
Sky. And
I
that.
do
Really,
remember
never really took to that show.
Did you not?
Too much.
Oh,
no.
I thought it was hilarious.
Nah.
It was good.
Nah,
Here's,
that's really,
you know
really
when you're just
scripted.
saying that though, we've already had 2 controversies. The first one was King of the Hill and Family Guy. A wee bit of argument going there, and then The Sopranos. You controversially said was the
So
best.
what would top your list?
Oh,
What
definitely
was it?
Sopranos, I think, but maybe not season 6. I don't think that there was one point where it just sort of like dipped a bit.
That's what happens in it with these things.
I think The Wire. I like
Oh,
that.
the Wire was
I
good.
need to give that a chance. I need to watch that.
It's a slow burn. I think it doesn't, but I thought that was pretty good looking back.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad
Yes.
was brilliant.
It was excellent.
It was an amazing show. Right, well, just conscious of the time, boys. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Here is the next father.
Plus, they completely destroyed a $300 pneumatic drill, which someone's going to pay for.
Well, this all sounds pretty serious.
But don't you worry, Officer Carl. They are going to hear all about it when I get them home.
God.
There's a huge amount of irony here with what we've just been talking about.
Yeah.
Not the first voice. The first voice is a cop, an
Right.
American cop, right? So if you listen again, picture an American cop talking to the father.
Plus, they completely destroyed a $300 pneumatic drill, which
That's a
someone's going to
cop.
pay for.
Well, this all sounds pretty serious.
But don't you worry, Officer
Oh.
Carl. They are going to hear
It's
all
Malcolm in
about
the
it.
Middle,
when I-
is it?
Yeah,
So it is.
Brian Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, aye.
Before Breaking
That-
Bad.
Malcolm in the Middle
Hilarious.
for me was
That was a good
right
show,
up there when I
It
was
was
younger.
absolute dynamite.
That was excellent.
I mean, I've been rewatching some of it with the kids recently, and it's honestly, see some of the things you forget.
I know.
There were so many wee funny.
Oh.
Like the mother's all flustered, and she opens the door with no top on, and the social worker or something, some lassie for the school, chaps the door. She says, "It's just honestly, it's hilarious."
Aye.
I'm afraid to say it, but you need to watch Malcolm in the Middle.
Did you see the,
unless it's a PG? Don't go
Yeah.
watching it without your parents.
Did you did you see that Bryan Cranston did a sketch? So after the success of Breaking Bad, I think it might have been on Saturday Night Live or something like that. He's woken up and it's him and the mother from Malcolm in the Middle,
Oh.
and he's like, I've had a terrible dream. I've dreamt that I was this.
A drug dealer?
A drug dealer. And,
Funny. It's a great, absolutely brilliant show. Right, and the last one, boys, because we're nearly 40 minutes. We're longer today.
Tell me what a big fan Stephanie is, and he agreed to stop by her party after school today.
Dad, Stephanie's gonna go nuts!
I know. Am I the raddest, baddest dad a kid ever had?
The raddest, baddest dad a kid ever had. You want to hear it again?
Oh,
This is a hard one.
I think I might know this. Is it
this-
quite a modern show?
Yes. Well, originally I think it was out. It made a comeback. It was one of the things that survived cancel culture, and everyone was dying to see it again. I'll let you hear
Tell me
it.
what a big fan Stephanie is, and he agreed to stop by her party after school today.
Dad, Stephanie's gonna go nuts!
I know. Am I the raddest, baddest dad a kid ever had?
I thought I'd finish back because it's the raddest, baddest dad kid ever had. Sadly, the actor is no longer with us. He died fairly recently.
oh,
Oh, no.
It was a very, very American one. Full House.
oh, really?
No.
Which one died?
Full House and the dad, the main dad from series, the very,
Bob-
very first time he come on. Bob, aye?
Bob Saget. Bob Saget.
I'm sure.
Bob
I'm
Saget.
sure I've read
Bob
that.
Saget.
Saget dead?
Yeah, really?
I'm sure he passed
breaking news
away.
for me
aye.
here.
I need to check that so we don't get shut down for false information.
There you go.
I'm sure he passed
That's
away. But thank you so much, Iain, for coming on for a
Thanks
chat
for having
about
me.
Thanks.
rugby
That's been
and
brilliant.
everything parent related. If you are enjoying the podcast and you want to come on, anything you want to say, it's Dad's Club Podcast Scotland. This one we're going to label it rugby themed because we're trying to kind of run a theme through every one of them. Next one, I'm delighted to say we've got Kevin Noon from the Avondale area is going to come on and talk about Hangerfest. I don't know when that will happen because Hangerfest is not till June. But it means a lot you came on. We're going to sign out at that. 40 minutes for your viewing pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in. And that's been
guys.
Dad's Club.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
gents.
Cheers, Iain.
Cheers.